welcome to Folklore Unlocked. I'm Austin, and like usual, I'm joined by Ethan.
Yes, hello again, everyone.
And this week we are covering the Weiße Frauen and Weiße Weiber from Germanic folklore. And the term Weiße Frauen translates to white women in English. And the Weiße Frauen are elven-like spirits, and the folklore of them may come from Germanic paganisms like elves. And the Dutch Weerwijven are similar and dates back to at least the 7th century.
Now, the description for the Weiße Frauen are described as beautiful magical creatures who appear at noon specifically, and they brush their hair in the sunshine or bathing in the brook. So, very beautiful creatures they sound like. They're known to haunt castles and treasure. They tempt mortals to break the spell of the Weiße Frauen, which roughly in failure usually. And it dates back to medieval Germany. And we're going to bring the Grimm brothers back in this because Jacob Grimm, one half of the brothers Grimm, believed that they came from the Old Norse Alvin elves.
And the reason this is kind of a two for one episode is because the Weiße Weiber are similar to the Weiße Frauen, but more closely related to the fairies. And this is also part two of the Changeling series that we started last week, since the Weiße Weiber are also similar to changelings, since they are rumored to take unbaptized babies if there's no fire to ward them off. So apparently, on top of coats and scissors, fires are known to keep changelings away. And Weiße Weibers dwell in the earth and shrubs, small hills, forest clearings, or beneath tree roots. And there is a belief that some might even live in cow stables in Mecklenburg, Germany.
Okay, so keep a fire next to a baby and keep scissors next to a baby. Got it. Might not be the best options, but I mean, if you want to keep the changelings and the Weiße Weiber away, yes. So the Weiße Weiber description would be they like to play merry music. The music is described as fine, I guess. Probably not great. Uh, they might ask for porridge if a wedding is taking place. So kind of interesting there. And they might ask to brew copper every new moon during the twilight hours if given permission, and they'll take it away unseen. And then one of my favorite parts about this is they will then return evenings later with cans of beer they brewed. That is just one of those things like, oh, hey, thanks for doing this. Here's some beer. And I'm like, okay.
That is like the most German thing out of all of this. Like, sir, may I have some brewing copper? Three nights later, hey, that brewing copper you gave me? Here's some beer I brewed with it.
Yeah, I didn't want to say it was like stereotypical German kind of thing with beer, but I'm like, it kind of is. That was one of the first things I thought about too.
And the Villa of Jagd translates to wild hunt in England, and not in England, but yes, in England, but in English. And the Villa of Jagd is when Weiße Weibers are hunted by the Villa Yagran or Wild Huntswoman who they flee on wild hair. Not quite sure what that is, but I just imagine their hair being all different sorts of crazy and messy for that. And the Villa Yagran is joined by her horse and pack of hounds. And the Villa Yagran is also known as the old Frau Var or the old lady Var. And the Weiße Weiber who are caught are taken away on her horse. So this Villa Yagran is very much not the good person in this story.
They sound terrifying. Do you just imagine that riding at you with a horse and a pack of hounds? Oh my.
Yeah, I would be scared to death if I was a vice of fiber. I mean, absolutely terrified. And our thoughts, I think both the Weiße Frauen and the Weiße Weiber are interesting stories, but they're probably no more than that, especially with the Wild Huntswoman. Terrifying story if you really think about it, because these Weiße Weibers and Weiße Frauen are very human-like, so it's basically a human hunting something that's very much human-like. Yeah, that's the uncanny valley for me.
Yeah, I find it interesting that there are two creatures in like German folklore that are roughly the same name, white woman, and that's one of the things I find most interesting. Like that, and kind of like you said, kind of the uncanny valley that they're basically human. They're just like a little bit off. But yeah, I think they're interesting stories, but I don't believe they actually exist. It's one of those things that's like there's not very much about these that we could find. Like I couldn't even find like pictures anyone had or anything like that because I was going to try to put some in this, but yeah, it's still interesting though.
Yeah, this is very much like medieval and pre-medieval Germanic story, so that I doubt there's any any pictures that would be considered real pictures of these creatures, since I'm sure most of the renditions of them are going to be like paintings based off descriptions of them.
I mean, for the first one, the Weiße Frauen or whatever, I mean, it said it's basically an elf, right?
Yeah,
So I mean, if you just imagine an elf, that's kind of what it would look like, probably.
and then the Vice of Viber is like elves mixed with fairies. So, so there you go.
That's kind of a description and like give you like in your mind's eye how what they look like.
Yeah, and next week I believe we're going to start another little two-part series, at least a two-part series featuring the legend of King Arthur and all those characters, or at least the important characters.
There is so
So
much on King Arthur. There's just so much.
yeah, but our December plans are uh, two parts on King Arthur, Krampus, and then we've talked about our last one for the month of December and elves a little bit. So, any final words this week, Ethan?
Not really. Just thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, a little bit a shorter episode this week, but again, not much on it. We'll see you next week with the Legend of King Arthur. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe. If you're on Spotify, drop us a follow. And thanks for watching.
Yep. Bye, everyone.